This is Jeff Crosby with the Central District Fishing Report. Lake temperatures across the area are running in the upper 40s to lower 50s. It's that time of year for the annual white bass run at Taylorsville and Harrington Lakes. As water temperatures continue to rise, white bass will move up into the upper portions of Harrington and Taylorsville Lakes, as well as the saugeye at Taylorsville will move up into the river as water temperatures push into the mid-50s. It's a great time of year to get out and fish for these fish. You could try your luck with crankbaits, rattle traps, small spinners, or jerk baits are a few options for catching a few of these fish this time of year. It's also a great time of year to spend some time fishing for crappie in the lake there at Taylorsville and Harrington Lakes. Spend your time fishing brush piles and the end of fallen trees with minnows and crappie jigs, as well as casting crappie jigs along the shoreline. Largemouth bass are in pre-spawn mode at many of our area lakes this time of year, so you could try your luck casting crankbaits, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits along the shoreline. Also try pitching jigs or soft plastics around shoreline cover. Also, for those who like to fish for trout, don't forget the fish that have been stocked into Floyd's Fork, Gunpowder, Big Bone Creek, and other various small streams in the district, as well as the many Fins Lakes in the district. And finally, many of these Fins Lakes that have been stocked with trout will be stocked with catfish in the upcoming month. So check out the department's website at fw.ky.gov for a complete list of Fins Lakes in your area. So grab a pole, enjoy some great spring fishing, and I hope to see you on the water.
This is Adam Martin with your Western District Fishing Report. Fishing season is here again, so it's time to respool and get the old boat motor running again. Water levels are still at 354 at Kentucky and Barkley Lakes, but should begin to rise as usual starting on April 1st. Water temps are holding at around 56 degrees, which is right in the sweet spot for pre-spawn bass fishing. See, bass begin their spawning activity based on at least two factors: the length of the light period in the days and also the water temperature. Now there's a lot of individual variation, but generally speaking, the bass start spawning at around 57 degrees in the springtime, so we're almost there. Now, one important fact for anglers to remember is that the largest bass are the first ones to spawn. Now, it isn't known if this is due to competition for the best spawning locations or if it's simply influenced by hormones, but this early spawn window is the time the big females and the big males move shallow. Anglers have been targeting these pre-spawn fish at Kentucky and Barkley Lakes, primarily with crankbaits. Now, red is the obvious color choice this time of year, and while color selection is sometimes more about marketing than science, some lab research has shown that bass can easily pick out red from other colors. Crappie fishing is also heating up, and they are definitely still in a pre-spawn pattern. If we see any major rises in water levels, you can expect a similar shallow push by crappie. Now, timing the crappie spawn is much more difficult than the bass spawn. It varies a lot from year to year and may or may not correlate with the dogwoods blooming or whatever natural metric you prefer to use. But generally speaking, the peak is going to be when water temps are in the mid-60s. But high water or even high discharge through the dams tend to kick off a wave of spawning activity. Now, some of you may be surprised to learn that the lunar activity has not been shown to be a major factor influencing the crappie spawn or even the bluegill spawn. For your best chance of catching crappie right now, anglers have been spider rigging with jigs or live minnows. Many anglers are also using live imaging sonar to target individual fish with single rods. Now, the depth of these fish right now is pretty variable, but don't be afraid to venture shallow. This is also a great time of year for bank anglers, but it may be another week or two before we see a lot of fish moving shallow. The tailwater fishing has been good for anglers targeting striped and hybrid striped bass, and the skipjack have also been running really well at Kentucky and Barkley for anglers looking for a little bait. Now, the elevations in the tailwaters are still about 10 foot higher than normal, but at least they aren't 30 foot higher than normal like they have been. So spring has sprung, and as always, if you decide to get out on the water, always remember to wear your life jackets and kill switches. Good luck.